Hey, hey, hey. What's up, everyone? This is your girl, Reverend Jude. Hey, and thank you for being tuned in to Speak Pink. I know it's been a minute. We haven't had a podcast since March 9th. But remember, life every now and then takes a shift. So I'm glad to be back on with you all. Hey. Thank you so very much for listening to Speak Pink podcast. So glad to be back on with you all. Listen, we have some exciting series that I want to share with you all over the summer. So today marks the beginning of the launch of our summer podcast series. And it's entitled From Sunset to Sunrise. Now, the last time we were together, we talked about how to manage going through a shift. And I will tell you, a week after sharing that story, that podcast with you all, life took a shift. Now, it wasn't all bad. It's actually been very positive. Things happened on the job that were great. My children entered back into school on a more regular basis. And then there were some personal things that I had to work through. But I kept wanting to get on with you all. I kept wanting to get on and leave you all podcasts here or there. But I really wanted to make sure I worked out some content, worked out where we were going and what we were going to be talking about. Because what I always hope to do with our podcast on Speak Pink is just share with you golden nuggets from my experiences, from what I'm learning, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm seeing, that will hopefully help you stand up, show up in your authentic self, and become the best version of yourself. And so as I take this journey and move through this journey, I like to share my reflections, and hopefully they are of use and of benefit to you. In addition, I've also been streamlining my business, my personal mastery coaching business. So there's a lot of things that have been coming together that I've been working on. I'm really excited to share all that with you. So thank you again for being tuned in to Speak Pink as we kick off our summer series entitled From Sunset to Sunrise. Now, most of you know, those of you that listen often to Speak Pink, know that in 2018, my son died. What I haven't talked a whole lot about is that I've also been going through a divorce, separation and divorce. And life has been in flux. It's been in flux a lot, but not all bad. I really am quite excited about where life is right now. I've also been on an interpersonal journey, part of my own personal mastery, with radical self-love and really making some hardcore decisions. But they've been some hardcore decisions that have helped me to be where I am today. Really excited, really grateful for life, really pleased with life. And it's not perfect. Really clear about the things that I intend to do more of and the things I don't intend to do more of. So let's get into it. From sunset to sunrise. Now, oftentimes we think about the sunset, we think about the ending, right? But it could also be the beginning. What if your darkest hour was not the ending, but the beginning? Think of it this way. When the sun sets in the evening time, it's actually the beginning of a new rotation for the new day. As it gets darker and darker and the clock strikes midnight and the sun is out of our view and the moon is up, what might feel like the ending is also a beginning, the beginning of a new day. So what if your darkest hour, what if your darkest situation was the beginning of a new day? A beginning of a new day of how you see yourself, how you think about life, how you see your career, how you see your personal life. Like, what if the dark hour was not the ending of a chapter, but the beginning of a chapter? And what I'm experiencing is that my last couple of sunsets have really been the pathway to a sunrise. Now, my sunrise didn't happen overnight, didn't happen in one day, but the sunrise is me again getting clarity on my business as it relates to personal mastery coaching. The sunrise has become this new wave of radical self-love that I'm engaging more and more every day and really, really, really loving. The sunrise is new relationships, some personal, some business, new relationship with myself. The sunrise is even new opportunities and doors that have opened up in ways that, man, I could not have planned. And all of that I plan to share in this series from sunset to sunrise. I want to challenge you in this moment to think about your darkest hour. Or maybe a dark hour, maybe not the darkest, but a dark time. And maybe those of you that are listening, you've gone through a dark time or you're in a dark time. And things don't seem quite clear. And by the hour, by the minute, it's getting darker and darker. And I want to offer to you today in this series that maybe, just maybe, the sunset is the pathway to a sunrise. Now, most of you know that I'm a Christian, so yeah, I'm going to reference God, Jesus, and even the scripture. But even if you're not, it's okay. Because this is not about religion. Yes, as a Christian, I speak from that's my place of faith. And so I speak from that place. But even if you're not a Christian, this is not about religion. But I do want to say this, that the Creator, God, is teaching me more and more every day that darkness isn't so bad. I mean, it's bad, but there's also, if we're able to shift our perspective, that it's not just the ending, but can really be the beginning. The beginning of a new season, the beginning of a new day, the beginning of a new book, the beginning of a new business, the beginning of a new gift and talent. And so in this series from sunset to sunrise, I want to engage you in a couple of things for today. Number one, name your dark hour. Name your dark season. Name the time that you had a sunset, where the sun went down on your situation and it got dark. And I don't say that light or flippant, because it's serious and it's important and it matters. And I want to ask you a question. Did you feel like maybe this was the end? And I ask that question because what I also want to challenge you to pay attention to is you're still here. So it couldn't have been the end, because you're still here. You're listening to me. You're still here. So maybe the sunset wasn't the ending, but the beginning. And maybe, just maybe, God the Creator is using the sunset of your life, or the sunsets of your life, because maybe there's been more than one or two, to set you up for a great sunrise. That's what I want to leave you with today, is that maybe, just maybe, the sunset was a setup for a beautiful sunrise. I know it sounds a little woo-woo, a little quirky, and real optimistic. And I am an optimist, but I'm a realist also. And the reality that I have learned in these last few months that have really worked through concretely, or having a concrete message to share, is that sunsets can be setups for a great sunrise. That a dismal sunset, a dreary sunset, a not so, awesome sunset can really be the setup for a beautiful, amazing sunrise. Here's the thing, though. You got to make it through the sunset hours. To see a sunrise, you have to endure the sunset. So in our first episode, our first conversation from sunset to sunrise, I want to challenge you to make it through the sunset. I want to challenge you to make up in your mind that though the sun is setting on a particular area of my life, though the sun is setting on a particular situation or relationship, though the sun is setting on this, though it's coming to its end, its close, I want to challenge you to ask yourself the next question. What will my sunrise look like? I see the sunset, but I want to encourage you to envision a sunrise. I see the sun setting, but I want to encourage you to see how the sun is going to come up tomorrow morning over your life, over your situation. And then as you're imagining the sunrise, here's what I want you to imagine. Imagine what the sunrise is bringing to you. What do you need in the sunrise season? I mean, what do you need? And I am a believer of putting it out there to God, the Creator, God, the Almighty One. I believe in putting it out there in the universe. Here is the question. You see the sunrise, but what does the sunrise reveal? What does it show? You see the sunrise, but what are you prepared for? How are you preparing for it? How are you getting ready for a sunrise? How are you establishing yourself? How are you getting your networks together? How are you at cleaning up your home even, or simple things to prepare for a sunrise? What exactly are you doing? What exactly are you putting your focus into? And yes, this is your work. I know we want to put the sunrise all on God, put all on the Creator, put all on the universe. But your sunrise, much like your sunset, is not controlled by, but impacted by your influence. And so, what does your sunrise look like? Who's in the room for your sunrise? How are people rejoicing over your sunrise? I mean, how are you rejoicing even over your sunrise? What are you excited about with your sunrise? Are you ready for a sunrise? Are you ready to leave behind the baggage of the sunset and say yes to a whole new sunrise? Are you ready to take some steps you weren't planning to take, but there was an energy shift, there was a protocol shift, and well, I guess I'll just move this over here to the appropriate personnel, because right now what was is no longer. So this summer, stay with us as we talk about going from sunset to sunrise, the amazing journey that God has us on. Thank you for listening to Speak Pink. This is your girl, Reverend Jew. Hey. Thank you for being tuned in for another episode of Speak Pink. Ride with us. Share this podcast with someone who you want to see encouraged for the summer. This is our summer series, from sunset to sunrise. Hey. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part. Hey. From sunset to sunrise, y'all. We're going to get it. Yeah. Hey.